Hey everyone, open your books to page 294 and take out your yellow VIP Exponent Graphic Organizer. We're in lesson 19.3 today, learning about additional properties of exponents. So we are going to develop the power of a power, power of a product, and the power of quotient properties today. And then we're still going to simplify expressions involving exponents. So for question 1, we see this table here. And the first one is done for us. So in my parentheses, I see a 2 squared. And 2 squared is being raised to the 4th power. So 2 squared multiplied by itself 4 times. So I have 2 squared, which is 2 times 2. Again, 2 squared, which is 2 times 2. 2 squared. And 2 squared, which is 2 times 2. So I have 2 squared multiplied by itself 4 times, which essentially is 2 times 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 2. And if I count all of those up, it's 2 multiplied by itself 8 times. So it's 2 to the 8th power. Okay, now, the next column, I have 5 to the 5th power, and that's being raised to the 3rd power. So it's 5 to the 5th power times 5 to the 5th power times 5 to the 5th power. 3 times. Which, if I write all of these out, that's 5 times 5. Keep going. And if we count up all of these 5s, it's 5 to the 15th power. And the last column, I have x cubed raised to the 4th power. So x cubed multiplied by itself 4 times. Now if I expand those out, it's x times x times x. Keep going. And count all of those up. And how many total x's do we have? X is being multiplied by itself 12 times. So if we look at our original expression, this first column, and we look at our last column, the single power, what is happening? What's the pattern that we notice here? What are we doing with our exponents? We're multiplying. 2 times 4 is 8. 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 4 is 12. So in this little box, a to the m raised to the nth power is a m multiplied times n. M times n. That's the power of a power property. So on the back of our organizer, we're going to write this in. And you should have more room than I do. When raising a power to a power, we multiply the exponents. We are going to do two examples that I want you to try first, but on your own. So 5 squared raised to the third power. When we do that, it's 5. 2 times 3 is 6. Now type that into your calculator. You get 15,625. So either answer is acceptable here. Both answers work. 5 to the 6th power, you can leave it like that. And then b to the 4th power raised to the 10th power. So b, 4 times 10 is 40. Okay, back in your book, I want you to answer question 3. Don't let the fractions scare you. Remember, you're just multiplying, so use your calculator to help you. Six divided by 5 times 25. X raised to the 30 power. Okay, question 4. In my parentheses, I have 2x, and that's my base, and it's being raised to the 4th power. So it's 2x multiplied by itself 4 times. So the book writes that out for you, and then they are going to group together all of their 2's. And if I count them out, it's 2 multiplied by itself 4 times, so it's 2 to the 4th power. And if we group together our x's, it's x multiplied by itself 4 times, so it's x to the 4th power. Okay, the second example here is negative 4a raised to the 3rd power. So negative 4a times negative 4a times negative 4a. I'm going to group together my negative 4's. Then I'm going to group together my a's. And let's count them out. So it's negative 4 raised to the 3rd power, a raised to the 3rd power, Ooh, and look at this last one. This one's a little bit trickier. I have x cubed y squared, and that needs to be multiplied by itself 4 times. Okay, so I have x cubed y squared. So there's 4 of them. Now I'm going to expand out all of the x's. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to squeeze in the y's wherever I have room, which is just 2 of them. So y times y. And now let's count up my total x's. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So x to the 12th power. 8. Y to the 8th power. Does everyone see that? So I wrote out x cubed y squared multiplied by itself 4 times because it was raised to the 4th power. Then I wrote out x cubed, which is x times x times x, and we wrote out y squared, which is y times y. So what's happening here? What are we doing from the first column to the last column? There's a math term for this from here to here. And actually, this math term starts with the letter D. Distribute. So we're taking this exponent and we're distributing it to each base inside the parentheses. So in this little box, it needs to be an M and an M. M and M. So on our organizer, this is power of a product. Power of a product. To raise a product, which is a multiplication problem, to a power. We can distribute the power to each base. So this M goes to the A and the B. Two examples. Okay, I want you to try both of these and see what you can come up with. So this is 3 to the 5th power, w to the 5th power. Now on your calculator, type in 3 to the 5th power. 3 to the 5th power is 243. So we could write 243 w to the 5th power. Or you could just leave your answer as 3 to the 5th, w to the 5th. And then the next example, this is incorporating the last property, power of a power, and the current property. So I have y, and then I distribute the 3, and 3 times 4 is 12. Z, and then I distribute the 3, and 3 times 6 is 18. And that's my final answer. Okay, try question 6 in your book. Don't let the fractions scare you. Use your calculator to help. Distribute and multiply. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. Eight divided by 4 is 2. So c to the 4th power, d squared. Question 7. Let's use the patterns that we've already seen or noticed and predict what is going to happen here. So if I have a power of a quotient property, if I have a fraction, what do you think I do with this exponent? It's the same exact thing. I distribute. So in this little box, we write m's. Okay, so let's try question 8. Again, don't let the fractions scare you. Pause the video and use your calculator to answer this question. So you're going to multiply. Come up with your answer. If I multiply by 3 and divide by 3, these cancel. We're just left with 1. And then 6 divided by 3 is 2. So x divided by y squared is my final answer. And this is our last property that we're going to go ahead and add on our sheet, power of a quotient. To raise a quotient to a power, we distribute the power to the numerator, which is the top of our fraction, and the denominator, which is the bottom of our fraction. Let's do 2 examples. So go ahead and try that one and get your answer. And also try this question and come up with your answer. So 5 is distributed to 2 and 3. So it's 2 to the 5th power over 3 to the 5th power. Go ahead and type that into your calculator for me. You could leave your answer like that, or you could write 32 over 243, which doesn't reduce or simplify. So 2 to the 5th power over 3 to the 5th power, or 32 over 243. Either answer works. And then the last one, distribute and multiply. So V, 6 times 2 is 12. W squared. And then in the denominator, Z, 9 times 2, 18. All right, let's walk through example A. So somewhere in the My Notes section of your book or any blank space, we're going to take this 3 and distribute it to each base, so 2x and y. So it's 2 cubed x, 2 times 3 is 6, y, 5 times 3 is 15. And then we're going to multiply that by, and now we have to distribute this negative 2 to the 3 and the x. Those are 2 different bases. So 3 to the negative 2nd power x. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Now, if I'm looking here, this is a multiplication problem. These are the same base, so we add the exponents. So 6 plus a negative 4, 6 minus 4 is 2. And remember, we cannot have a negative, so we have to clean it up. So move it to the denominator. And when we move it to the denominator, we make it a positive. Now, this answer is totally acceptable. Or we can use our calculator and type in 2 cubed, which is 8. 3 squared, which is 9. So either example, or either answer, sorry, is totally acceptable. They both mean the exact same thing. All right, on the next page, example B. Go ahead and write this one down in the My Notes section of your book. We are going to take the exponents of 2 and distribute. So x, 2 times 2 is 4. Y, negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Divided by z squared. And then we cannot have a negative exponent, so this needs to be moved to the denominator with the z, and it needs to be turned positive. X to the 4th stays where it's at because it's positive, it's happy. Z squared stays where it's at. It's positive, it's happy. This moves and turns positive. And that's our final answer. Okay, here's what I need you to do. I need you to do the try these A and B, and I want you to try questions A, B, C, and D. Notice I didn't say letter E, so you can cross that one off. Use the My Notes section of your book or a lined piece of paper, scrap piece of paper, wherever you have room to write these, but pause the video, and I want you to try these questions first. Go for it. You can do it. Use somebody around you to help you if you need it. So letter A, distribute. So 2 cubed, x 2 times 3 is 6, y cubed, and that's being multiplied by the next set of parentheses. But I have to distribute the 2 to each base, so negative 3 squared, x squared, y 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, and now I need to multiply. So I have these as the same base, and I have y's as the same base. So I'm going to leave the 2 alone for a second, and x, 6 plus 2 is 8, y, 3 plus 6 is 9, and then I have negative 3 squared. Now, you can leave your answer like that, and it looks a little silly, but I'm nice, so I will take this answer. But you can take this a step further. 2 cubed is 8. And if you type this into your calculator with parentheses, because your calculator isn't as smart as you think it is, put parentheses around it, and negative 3 squared is 9. And then 8 times 9 is 72. So I will take this answer with or without the parentheses, or this answer. Either one is totally acceptable because we haven't been writing out all of the numbers. We've just been leaving them. Okay, letter B. If you haven't done letter B already, please pause it and try it before I go through it. Distribute the 3 just to the bases inside the parentheses. Then I'm going to notice that I have the same base of B. So 1 plus 6 is 7. And then I'm going to write out my 5 cubed because this looks a little funny to me. So 5 cubed is, type it in, 5 cubed is 125. Actually, I'm going to write 5 cubed and then I'm going to keep going. So 5 cubed is 125, and then 125 multiplied by negative 2 is a negative 250. A, B to the 7th, C cubed. And again, I would take this answer, or I would take this answer because I'm nice. So either one is acceptable. if you left it with your 5 cube, or if you expanded out your numbers. Either way, you're good. If you didn't do C already, go ahead and do it before I show you what the answer is, please. Distribute the -2 through. Oops. 3 times -2 is -6. And then I'm noticing that these are all negatives. So these need to move to the denominator and be made positive. This needs to be moved to the numerator and be turned positive. So my final answer would be y with a +6 over 4 squared x squared. This answer is totally acceptable. Or if you changed 4 squared to a 16, that answer is also acceptable. It doesn't matter. This one does not look goofy with the 4 squared, so you're totally good if you left it that way. Okay? It's when we have like 2 different numbers, one at the beginning, one at the end, they kind of look silly. All right, this last one, distribute, distribute, distribute. So 5 squared x squared over y squared multiplied by y cubed over 10x squared. What can we do with this one? I'm going to multiply straight across and just kind of combine them. So 5 squared x squared y squared over, I'm going to put a 10 here. Then I'm going to write my x squared first. Oh, wait, I made another mistake. Y, there's too many squared, so I'm changing it. Y cubed. Then it's y squared. See, everybody makes mistakes. Okay, be really careful. Everything looks good. So 5 squared x squared y cubed over 10 x squared y squared. So if I look at this, these cancel, right? Because 2 minus 2 is 0, and anything to the 0 power is 1. What is 5 squared? 5 squared is 25, so I'm going to write that out. 25 over 10. And then what's y cubed minus y squared? That's just 1y. Then I'm going to simplify even more. What's 25 divided by 10? 5 over 2. So I get 5 over 2, and then the y stays on the top. All right. This is where we're going to stop for today. Good work. I'm proud of you.